The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Week 5 picks against the spread, survivor selection, super locks, and free money, plus a Cust Corner mini midway through the show. Fun, as always. Smash the like button for the episode, time code down in the description for your favorite moments, and as always, subscribe to Mayo Media Network on YouTube. And if you are an audio listener or you want to be an audio listener, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Support the show by leaving those Apple reviews. Thank you very much for doing that. If you want to get the show a night early, like 12 hours early, you want to watch it on Tuesday evenings, it's always in the newsletter, the Mayo Media newsletter. That is free to join. That's down in the description right now. Comes out around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, I think is when it usually gets sent out on Tuesdays. Plus it has golf bets and player notes, not just the link for the show. It's a bunch of stuff in that newsletter, so please go do that right now. Also, the DraftKings Listeners League link for Week 5 is now open. That is also down in the description. It is a happy week for members of the Pat Mayo Experience team. Not so much for me, because I lost the week, Geoff Fienberg. I went 8-8. Usually that's good for, I don't know, like a 5-win victory throughout the week, but 8-8's a loss against you guys. The Coin and Cust were 9-7. You, sir, were 10-6 last week, and your Chargers won, and you got so excited you did a new episode of the Chargers podcast, Fine Bolt, a mini one on Monday night. And even before you knew that the win was coming, you dressed up like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
I did. And on that special episode, we suggested we were going to be part of Parham at 40-1, but I'm in a great mood, Pat. Seems like there's a lot of positive energy in here tonight. Unlike many of our lucky listeners to the south that got to move freely or do move freely, we've been in a bit of a different situation here in Canada, and I'm going on my first trip this week to Las Vegas with my buddies. So I am like, nothing could honestly bring me down right now. Nothing.
We have time for you to get brought down over the next 2+ hours or so. It can happen. Trust me on that one. The Coin is in the building. Paul Shaughnessy is behind the sticks. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, but his bills continue to roll. And someone who is very excited, his name, Tim Undergust.
Tim Undergust.
That is not my name.
Oh, new picture.
New picture. That photo was taken in a moment of tremendous excitement. Excitement that I still feel.
You're still feeling the excitement. I am very happy for you because I apparently don't love anything, my kids included, as much as you seemingly love when the Jets win. I can't recall a time I've ever been that excited in my entire life.
I'm sure there have been times. I bet you after Spieth rinsed his second at 12 at Augusta, you probably felt the exact same way.
No, not at all. Geoff, you know how it feels like when you're sweating a golf bet and like it's not over yet or anything like that. That it's not so much like you now see the finish line like, oh my God, this could potentially happen. It's like when you have
Geoff
a big
said
bet.
He took his clothes off and was nude after the second shot in the water.
Not because he's like freaking out due to excitement. It's because, oh my God, my heart can't stop racing. What's going to happen? Like the nerves all coming. It's not excitement. It's this might happen. And then it becomes somehow even worse.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe I was overdressed. I got really warm when that happened, but the jubilation that you were portraying in those videos, I can relate to, you know, and sometimes people have to witness it that you are with. It's just the complete opposite of, you know, when you're just sitting there in shame for 3 hours. I, though, like have veteran maneuvers, pro tips, because I got buddies, everyone's a prankster. You always make sure you have like drawstrings like tied and things are just where they need to be. You know, even the underwear that's extra hard to pants.
Well, here's the issue is Tim, before McDonald's monopoly started today, which we'll get to in a little bit, had been losing a ton of weight. And clearly he didn't realize how much weight he lost because Tim, for the first time ever, you have not seen the supercut of what it was like to watch the Jets win with Tim on Sunday. Here you go.
Tim and August.
Oh, no. I'm doing the risky business dance. Oh, well, that's very nice of you.
5 minutes later. A little longer than a few minutes later.
Give it a moonwalk. Another moonwalk.
I don't even remember doing 2 moonwalks.
We're going to the playoffs. Playoffs? We're going to the playoffs. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. My heart.
They play the Falcons, then they play the Patriots. We got the Bengals upcoming. That's 3 wins. That's 4-3 with a bye coming. The Titans let the Jets back in the AFC playoff picture. Sorry, they shouldn't have done it. Jets.
Tim and August.
Well, whoever put that together did very good work.
Who do you think put it together?
You, Paul, maybe Matt.
It was
I don't
Paul.
know.
It was Paul. Paul can be fully credited for that. So, would you do it all over again, or would you wear a belt?
I would wear braces or a belt next time. But other than that, I was delighted and excited for how that went.
Geoff, did you know that if you wanted to get rid of that blur and see full hole, you can join Tim's OnlyFans?
I believe it.
Nonsense.
You don't have
I believe it. You know, after seeing the full video, yeah, Tim's pretty crazy. I'm not like, what was he doing? Like doing like disco dancing and stuff.
Well,
I was ecstatic. Look, it's been.
I get it. That's pure adrenaline. It's
Yes, it was.
You can't even control. I understand. Like you are doing actions that if someone said, "Hey Tim, can you do that dance move you did when the Jets made that great play?" You couldn't like reenact it. They're not reenactable. They're literally just adrenaline-filled movements.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Are you saying?
like
hold on. Are you saying that if I asked you to try to slide across the floor, almost wipe out, and throw out your hip, you couldn't do that again?
I suspect I could try, but I wouldn't have the same elan behind it. Like I just was running into the living room and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the Tom Cruise from Risky Business slide. And yeah, it nearly ended up very badly. But I just was moved with the spirit of excitement because what I wanted came to pass. And I mean, we're going to talk about it, I'm sure, several times, but it was an awesome Sunday. And then McDonald Monopoly started this week, and like it's getting colder and darker out. Like everything I love is all coming together at once. And the Jets getting a big win. And anyway, it's just, I had told you guys during the week after our show, I thought the Jets had a chance. I was talking about it days and days before, and everything I needed to happen happened. It was like finding that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's very exciting.
You were on the show being so negative last week.
I was, but then by like Thursday or Friday, I'd had a change of heart. I'd had like an epiphany.
So you're referencing text conversations when you told everyone who watched the show how dead you were and how you wouldn't even score points.
Yes, I changed my mind by like Friday or Saturday. I started thinking things through. I started going through various permutations, and then it occurred to me by, again, doing some schedule research that things could really open up if we beat the Titans. And once we did, like, ain't no stopping us now.
Well,
so good.
All he had to do was make the Titans his SUPERLOCK, which he lost, put the Titans on his free money teaser, which he lost because of the Titans, and take Tennessee in Survivor, which now has him out of Survivor for the season, leaving you and I, Geoff, only. Now, remember last week, Tim was all, "Oh, I'm here for the people. I sweat every single pick and how it's right." And he just gave out 3 of the biggest losers he could possibly do, and now he's here gloating about it.
Look, I'm being pretty transparent here. I mean, I everybody knows that if I pick against the Jets, my heart and my head are in different directions. So, like, I feel no shame about it. But yeah, Sunday, I didn't realize that you were recording most of what was going on there, although I guess I should have realized. But
you really should have.
I just got it. Just, like Geoff said, when you're a true fan and the most exciting things happen, you just can't control yourself. It's like an out of body experience, and you just want to get up and dance and get that excited energy out, because like everything you've been thinking about and stewing on and worrying about and having preliminary thoughts about, it's all happening in real life, and you can't believe that the moment has met your expectations.
Well, I'm not
everything you wanted.
I'm not here to be a buzzkill for you. I'm genuinely excited that you're excited, and I hope that this can last. Because Geoff, did you know the Jets are going to the playoffs?
I mean, do you want to have this conversation now,
No,
or when we get to the game?
We can save it for the Jets game.
They're one of the first games out. They have their home game in England.
Yeah, it's a real home game when their owner, like I mentioned last week, is the unofficial Prime Minister of London or of England.
The way they celebrate, like they Gatorade bath their coach is a bit much, to be honest. But I'll glad hand them a little when we talk about them.
All right, well, let's get in to the Thursday night game. Rams at Seahawks, a good Thursday night game. The Seahawks are 2.5-point dogs at home. 54.5 is the over-under. Both teams 2-2 against the spread coming in. Russell Wilson, with a victory over the San Francisco 49ers, still has never lost 3 games in a row as a starting quarterback in the NFL in his career. So we should probably keep that in the back of our mind if they go on a 2-game skid to continue the next 2 weeks. But the Rams look really flat. So, Geoff, do you think the Cardinals are actually that good, or did the Rams just have an emotional letdown after beating the Bucs?
Yeah, I think it was a spot game for the for the Rams, in the sense that, they were so jigged up for their Buccaneer game. And to them, maybe they saw the game versus Seattle and Carroll and Wilson on the short week as another pivotal game. And I'm obviously very keen on Arizona, high on them in our preseason shows to do pretty much what they're doing. But I just see a little division tit for tat here. Seattle able to take one from San Francisco, Arizona able to take one from Los Angeles. But it's funny, it's Carroll, it's Wilson, but the coach quarterback I'm going to bet on here is McVay and Stafford to not lose 2 division games in a row.
Yeah, I find this one really tough. I don't have a real lean on this one, Tim. I kind of want to go with the Seahawks because I feel like people are really, just especially seeing the Rams -2.5, that I just think that the public perception that the Rams are way better than the Seahawks, and that might be true. Again, it's still like it's a home game. They're small favorites. They only need to win by a field goal, in Seattle. Kind of like the Seahawks.
I get that. I think Geoff hit the nail on the head about how that game against San Francisco was like part 1 of 12 NFC West teams bludgeoning each other for the whole season. We come into this game, I mean, look, I thought the Rams were going to go to the Super Bowl, so I like the Rams better than the Seahawks. I think that number is a bit strange, but I'm going to take the Rams to win the game outright. Not with a ton of confidence, but to give the Cardinals their credit, we'll talk about them earlier. I mean, the Cardinals just beat the Rams up and down. Like, I don't know that it was so much the Rams weren't focused enough or paying enough attention. I just think they just got beat. And that they weren't able to get out to quick starts and couldn't really run their offense the way they like to. So I think that was probably a good gut check for the Rams. It's like, this is what happens when everything doesn't go perfectly, and can you adjust? And they couldn't adjust against the Cardinals. I think they will against Seattle. I like the Rams here.
All right, so I'm the only one going on Seattle Island. The coin, maybe I should tail you guys, because now I'm trailing all 3 of you in these season-long picks. The coin is going with the Rams as well. I think it's more of a fun game to watch, and I probably won't end up betting either side of this. Sometimes that happens in these Thursday. I like to stay away from the Thursday night games, just that I find that they're all over the place. Like even last week, it's not like I sat down and was like, man, Cincinnati -7, let's go. And then I doubt there were very many people, Geoff, that were like, man, Jacksonville +7, that's what I would like to spend my money on tonight.
Hey, I mean, as someone that was on Jacksonville +7 last week, I don't know, the games are weird.
Yeah, but did you
The games
did
are
you
weird, but it's-
you were on Jacksonville +7? Did you bet Jacksonville? You went and went to your app, the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and typed in
no, I
money.
didn't. I know.
No,
I made some first touchdown losers on the game, and then I kind of, quasi paid attention to it. But it's Thursday night. It's a TV game. It's a good game, unlike last week. So I'm like, I don't know. I'll be cocky enough to bet the game and think I know what I'm doing come TV time on Thursday night.
yeah, this reeks of Rams win by 2.
Yeah.
That everyone who is just like, well, if I'm going to bet Seattle, I'll take the money line. And then all the money on the spread will be on the Rams side, and then somehow it'll middle, and everyone will end up losing. So I'll just take the Seahawks. Go ahead.
Sorry. I've actually been really good at that lately, but no need to pat myself on the back. There was a comment I saw last night that pretty much said, in a month, Brandon Staley trusts Justin Herbert more than Pete Carroll ever has for Russell Wilson in like X amount of years.
We will talk about Staley once we get to the Chargers game, because the internet has a new man crush, Geoff. Everyone's in on Brandon Staley.
Warned you.
Yeah, it's happening. I mean, did they give out Coach of the Year awards after 5 games?
No, that's not even the conversation. I'm just, so hopefully Wilson hopefully it turns into a great game. 2 very entertaining coach quarterback.
It is, but if you're asking me to take the second best Wilson quarterback in football against the Rams, I'm just not going to do it.
I like how we both hijacked compliments to our teams in this Thursday night, or that.
Yeah, to go up against the coach quarterback pairing that, won a Super Bowl, went to another Super Bowl. They're terrible, though.
I wouldn't say that.
I like these both. I was saying it's a great combo. Both of these are coach quarterback combos that I like to bet off a loss. They're ironically playing each other. And now you kind of alluded to it in your speaking that it's the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, to avoid 3 in a row versus, like, I don't know, McVay's going to lose back-to-back division games. He seems like way too smart for that. So I don't know. Fun game. I got to pick it for here, and I might actually bet it. And it's the Rams for me.
Yeah, for me, what I'll end up doing is I just really like playing Prize Picks on the Thursday night, the Island games, and I can play my 2-player prop parlay. It pays 3 or 3.5 times sometimes on Thursdays. My money. If you guys want to get in on Prize Picks, go to prizepicks.com. Code MMN will get you a $100 deposit match at sign up. So if you deposit $100, then they will just give you another $100, so you have $200 to play around with on the site. How are you guys doing in the props pool? Because I'm not doing well, Geoff.
I was off to a good start, and I did fine last week. I may have violated a rule in week 3, and I hope that didn't disqualify my whole card and me from the contest. But apparently I included a Monday nighter in week 3, and I hope I didn't.
But the rules clearly state you cannot choose a Monday night prop.
So is that just like a loss, or am I eliminated from like the whole game?
No, you're not. Well, you're not eliminated from the whole game. It would be, I don't know if they completely wipe out your card or they just give you a loss for that game because it's not a part of the contest, because as it clearly states, you'd be so shocked at the number of people who are like, I know you're not supposed to put in Monday night people, but I put in Monday night people. Can it count? It's like, no, it's against the fucking rules, you morons.
But even if someone hasn't played,
I
in
got
4
so
weeks,
excited. I don't know. I like betting Jalen Hurts props, and that was a game. They were losers anyway last week, but I don't
even
know.
If somebody wants to join and start now, they still get the match on Prize Picks, and they can still win a bunch of stuff. So even if you're like Geoff and have put in disqualified lineups, or just haven't put any lineups in at all, you can still play the competition, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that's a super easy way. If you don't like to bet a lot of money and you're just a very low stakes player, you like want to get into this right now, then playing in the 7-Eleven contest, you're not going to compete for the top prize because you're starting in week 5, but there's a weekly bonus for the MMN contest. So if you pick 5 Thursday or Sunday over-unders on prizepicks.com, code MMN, and then you submit that entry for $7.11. If you win, you get 10 times your money, so you get $71. But if you go 5 of 5, because you put in a $7.11 entry that enters it into our contest that we're all playing in, and you get a bonus $50 if you go 5 of 5. So you go 5 of 5 once, You win 17 times your money, and you can it's a fun way to get in on the game, Geoff. Like, I know that there's a lot of people that are hesitant to go in for the first time, and they don't want to like blow their bankroll or anything like that, but you can feasibly play this for $7.11 a week and get the biggest multiplier in the industry.
Yeah. And it's honestly, if you just like to kick the can down the road, do the flex plays.
Oh, you have to on the 5. It's only a flex on the 5. So if you get 4, you still win.
Yeah, I mean,
no idea how this contest works, and we are 5 weeks in.
You don't, or Geoff doesn't?
Jeff doesn't.
Oh, well, he's beating both of us. Yeah, I'm looking at the standings right now. He has 11 right. I have 8, and you have 6.
Yeah, I'm not good.
Yeah, and I'm not good either. So the guy winning currently has 18. He's 18 of 20 so far. Alan W.
Well, I wish him the very best of luck.
Bad news for Alan W. Let's get to the jolly old London game, Tim. The New York Jumbo Jets. They are underdogs at home against I guess there's a Falcons home game. Falcons are favored by 3 over in London. 46 is the over-under. Is this going to look really bad if the Falcons blow out the Jets? Or will you just chalk it up to, oh, it was over in London. That game doesn't count.
No, look, if that were to happen, I'd be upset. I mean, this game is at the best stadium in all of Europe, I was told, Tottenham. So I expect amazing things from this stadium instead of it being at Wembley. And I'm much looking forward to this game being played. Where do you want me to start? I have a lot of things to say.
Just start wherever your heart desires.
Okay. So there's a clear path to the playoffs.
Jesus Christ.
There is. And it's because the schedule really opens up. They started with 3 really tough games. But if you look at the Jets schedule, I mean, we don't need to play the game, but if you look at the Jets schedule, there are nothing but wins on that schedule.
Well, you see that's a good point that you make. If they actually played the games, then there probably isn't a bunch of wins on that schedule.
No, that's not true. So, I mean, we got the Falcons here. I think this line is wrong. I don't quite know who in heaven's creation is going to lay points with the Falcons right now, the way they're playing.
I will.
So you have the Falcons, then we have a bye. Then we play the Patriots. A, we want revenge. B, the Patriots have not looked good the last couple of weeks. So coming off a bye, we probably beat the Patriots. Then we have the Bengals. They're incredibly overrated in New York again. Then we have the short week. We're playing the Colts. The Colts are in tatters on Thursday nights. Zach gets to show up in prime time as he's done his whole life. That's a W. Then we have the mini bye before the Bills. Even if we don't beat the Bills, that we'll be in a good situation with the mini bye before we take on Dolphins.
Hold on. So you have them winning their next 4 games before the Bills.
No, next 4 games. I'll give the Bills a W.
Okay, so 4 and 1.
But then we have the Dolphins, Texans, Eagles, Saints, Dolphins, Jags. I see 1, max 2 losses out of those games. So that's giving you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of those 6 games. I see max 2 losses out of Dolphins, Texans, Eagles, Saints, Dolphins, Jaguars. Then we have the Bucks and the Bills to finish. Well, if the Bucks are as good as we believe they are, then the Bucks will be resting people come week 17. And then, we can lose to the Bills too. But you look at that is probably...
How many is that?
That would be 11-6 would be their
That is
record.
Probably the softest schedule in the NFL left, which I guess is the blessings of playing a last place schedule. We got out of the way already the Panthers and the Broncos, and we beat the Titans. So I know it might seem crazy, but there is a clear path for the Jets to make the playoffs now. If that defense keeps playing the way it is, which has been very stellar, if Zach continues to play like when I said he had Mahomesian qualities, I'm beginning to think I was underselling him. I mean that. Like he might be this might be like Johnny Unitas plus Dan Marino plus Steve Young all mixed together. I don't know. That's how special some of those throws were. That point deep to Corey Davis was the nicest pass in the NFL this season. The throw he makes to Keelan Cole in overtime, which is across his body to the sidelines. That was like the Mario Manningham Super Bowl catch and throw. That's what that reminded me of.
That was a sick throw.
It was a sick throw. Again, there's 4 QBs in football who could make that throw. It was unbelievable. He played great. He made 1 interception. Well, Corey Davis fell down on the route. What are you going to do? He played great. He rose to the moment when he needed it. He made a couple little rookie mistakes, but it didn't end up costing them this week. Everything I believed came to pass. Just having Mims active and in the lineup meant that the Titans had to take it seriously. Even though we didn't play a lot of snaps, even though he never got a pass, he draws interest in coverage and the way you have to play. We're just really good when we play like this, okay? We're just really good. And you come into this game against the Falcons, who are reeling, who haven't been able to find an offensive identity. I mean, we sacked Tannehill a ton of times and hit him even more times. And Tannehill's far more elusive than Matt Ryan is. I expect Matt Ryan to be smacked around from pillar to post. The Jets should have their way with getting to the quarterback. And, you know, Zach is going to be in London. He's going to show up on the big stage. Everyone's going to be watching him play at the world's greatest stadium, which is Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I am very, very, very excited for this. If we win this, we're 2-3. We're the talk of the league in a lot of ways because it's New York and they're on a 2-game heater. They've just won a London game. The NFL loves to promote these London games. Then we have a bye to get ready to knock out the Patriots and knock out the Dolphins and it's all there. It's all there. The Falcons can't trip us up. We're teasing the Jets up. They're the first end of a 6-point tease. I love it. The Jets on the money line makes sense. This team, Saleh has gotten everything and more out of this defense. It has been the defensive performance of the year, considering he's gotten very little to work with outside of like Quinn and Williams. Like he is like Rumpelstiltskin. He is spinning straw into gold at every turn on his wheel. And the offense for the first time showed an identity, showed a life, gave Zach some opportunities to roll and throw. And I was blown away. I danced in a most excited way last Sunday because what I believed needed to happen happened. And now I sort of expect it against an inferior Falcons team.
The coin and I will be taking the Falcons in this spot. As it turns out that the Falcons are not missing their two best wide receivers in this game. And no, they cannot block, but neither could the Titans. And the Titans still should have won that game. You forget that it went to overtime, right? And then the refs were working against the Titans in overtime by giving them...
It only went to overtime because the Jets, and this was their own fault, the Jets had two players get injured when the Titans had no timeouts left in the last minute and a half to stop the clock. Like, it's no one's fault but their own. But the Titans got some breaks to get it to OT. Then Tennessee was just playing to tie. They weren't even trying to win the football game. The Titans didn't take shots towards the end zone at the end of the game. They were playing for the tie because a tie is just as good as a win in the AFC South. And the football gods made it so that Gotham got another win on Sunday.
You're delusional.
It was so excited. It was
you are so.
Where am I wrong?
No chill. You're more confident and excited than, say, like a Charger fan who's crazy like me is. I picked the Jets last week on some of my other outlets. Zach Wilson over in his yards, the Jets on the spread. Oh, check. You're making like way too big a deal out of beating this one-dimensional offense that played into your strengths, and then none of their receivers and their secondary sucks. Atlanta checks a lot of those boxes also, but you're out your two safeties. This is going to be a coming out party for Kyle Pitts. People are down on Pitts for obvious reasons. People put a yellow jacket on him before he was drafted. People are going to make good on their like Ridley and Pitts shares this week. Heavy. You're in big trouble.
What do you mean? We're
and your
Ridley.
Confidence makes me more confident. I don't even hear what you're saying. I said
we'll double Ridley. Saleh is a brilliant defensive mind.
You guys Gatorade bathed him. You acted like you
wanted. That happens to almost every single NFL coach who wins his first ever game.
I don't know about that.
That happens a lot of the time.
That.
That is not an.
I don't know about that. I saw the video from your locker room. Listen, you're an excited bunch. Good for you. I'm happy for you. You're talking playoffs.
Yes, playoffs. It's there. I'm not guaranteeing it's happening.
You're losing to Atlanta. This is like a couple years ago. You said we're making the playoffs with a stretch, and you didn't even win your next game versus the Bengals, who won one game all year. You're doing that again, except instead of November, you're doing this in October. You're out, pal. Falcons minus the points. I think I could wait on this. I agree the spread feels a little high, but I don't know. The way Tim's talking makes me feel like I'll just lay the 3. But I think you could wait around and maybe it can come off it. I don't know.
Are you waiting for one of us to talk so you can talk over us, Tim?
No, look, you
talked for so long.
I've said what I wanted to say about this game. Other than I'm annoyed I have to watch it early in the day, probably by myself.
Yeah, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. This game will be on the air. I don't even know where can you watch this one, Tim? Is this one you have to get Amazon Prime for?
No, they don't have any games till next year. This is an NFL Network game that'll be on regular television for us.
Well, NFL Network isn't on regular television.
Well, like it's on TV. Like you can turn it on TV and watch it on TV.
Well, you have to go order the channel. It's not like it's just
I
on
have
TV.
NFL Network.
Oh, so as long as you have it, then everyone has it, is what you're saying.
But I think one of the sports channels will be carrying the game as well.
Okay, I'm taking the Falcons here, and I mean I may have to take them on the alt spread -9 now that they won't cover your free money tees. When you point out how the Jets are going to win these games, you realize that all these teams that you're talking about are looking at their schedule and being like, Jets free win, perfect.
Great, continue to overlook us. So did Tennessee. They took a big old L on the loss column. They went into the Big Apple thinking it would be a breeze, and they ran into a team that was better on offense, defense, and special teams. So have at it.
You're really like the worst. Like you're the best and the worst simultaneously. It's a hard feat and you're able to do it. So I guess I congratulate you for that.
Look, I have to express what I feel.
You have to live your truth.
I didn't say that.
But that's
But
what
I
you
have
mean.
to express the feelings that I have. I'm excited. I'm happy. Things are going well. And we're going to win the game.
They couldn't score a point last week, and you came on here crying. And then in every game we spoke about, you cried about effort other teams show, and yours don't. And now because you beat a lethargic Titans team,
He beat the Titans
going to
B
the
team?
playoffs.
So maybe I was a spur in the saddle for them. And secondly, you just hate the Titans. So any team that loses to beats the Titans, you don't want to give them any credit because Tennessee's no good because you hate the Titans. So I know
what are you talking about. I picked you. I'm happy for you. I said it's a game that sets up for Zach to get his confidence.
And then you just said, and this game sets up really well too because Atlanta checks the same boxes as Tennessee. And then you go ahead and take, fine, don't believe. Be one of the naysayers. There's lots of
Not all of the boxes, though. Not all of them. Some of them, not all of them.
Whatever. Listen, man, you do you. You go ahead and pick the Falcons. Enjoy being on Matt Ryan and laying points with Matt Ryan on a neutral field against Saleh and against Zach Wilson and see how happy you feel. There can be a lot more opportunities for people to be laying points.
Will you make the playoffs if you lose to Atlanta?
I will reevaluate that at that time. I have 2 weeks to think about it as they're on bye next week.
Will you be showing up to watch the rest of the games if the Jets lose?
Oh, yes. I'll show my face, win or lose. I love the games too much.
All right. So
Tim?
maybe we'll start watching at halftime over at the office.
Okay.
That's a DC in honor of your victory, buddy.
Oh, thank
okay?
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I just opened one a few minutes ago myself.
Oh, you're not having it. How come you guys aren't having a DP? Not necessarily with each other, but for Zach Wilson and his Rookie of the Week voting, which is not going your way, Tim.
I have voted so many times for him to be Rookie of the Week. Because what you can do, right, and I tweeted this out for people, is when you go to vote for Zach Wilson as Rookie of the Week, it tells you to refresh the internet page, and you can vote again.
The internet page?
So I just kept like refreshing and voting and refreshing and voting and refreshing and voting to try to get Zach to win.
Yeah, but you were told by our friend that he just created a bot that will vote for Mac Jones.
Yeah, I don't believe that's true.
I don't
Stop
know.
the count.
Rashawn Slater had a better week.
No one had a better week than Zach as a rookie. No one did. He should have been AFC Player of the Week. They're going to give it to Tyreek Hill, but they should have given it to Zach.
I mean, they should give it to Tyreek Hill because he had to do it with not as good Patrick Mahomes, according to you.
That's not what I said.
What did you say then?
I said by just saying his skill set's only Mahomesian, that maybe that's setting the bar a little low.
What will you be like? I don't think I've ever even known you when the Jets like flirt with 500. Like, this is what you're like when they're 1-3. Like, what the hell are you going to be like if they're ever 6-5? You're deranged.
We'll see. Just you wait.
Okay, let's get on to the Sunday afternoon or the morning, not the afternoon, the regular slate. Philly is at Carolina. Carolina coming off a loss to Dallas, 3.5-point favorites against the Eags. 44.5 is the over-under. That seems like a really low total, doesn't it, Geoff?
Yeah, and this is actually one of my favorite games of the week. I really like Carolina here to bounce back, to get off the mat. Dallas just took them to the woodshed, but the Eagle injuries, they're adding up. They're in bad spots. The Panther D-line, I think, could expose them. I don't even care if McCaffrey plays, but I'll happily lay the 4. This is a super lot consideration game for me.
It's -3.5 at DraftKings Sportsbook, so you don't even need to take the entire 4. If you want to, I suppose you can, but you can have the -3.5. Me and the coin are taking the -3.5 as well. I see the same things you do. I do want to monitor the Philly injury report for the offensive line throughout the week, but it's not looking good at the moment. I just worry that Hurts is going to have one of these games where where everything just goes right, and maybe they'll start running the ball at some point. Maybe that will prove to be effective for them. And the offense is just going to look glorious like it did in week 1, but I don't think this is the right team to do it against. And I've been taking Philly every week, and they keep not covering. So I'll take Carolina, Tim.
I'll play the Philadelphia Eagles. I like the fact they got 30 points on the board last week. They showed some heart after a very poor performance against the Cowboys. I'm not super confident in this game one way or the other, but I think it's too many points, and so I will take Philly.
Green Bay is at Cincinnati, the overrated Bengals, according to Tim and Cust. The Bengals are 3-point dogs at home. It doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm not entirely sure the Packers are good yet either. 50.5 is the over-under. I don't know what to make of either of these teams because the Bengals really took a dump on Thursday night, but they still won the game. They continue just to pull it out. Burrow makes big plays. He's like the good Zach Wilson when they win more games than they lose, is how I would describe him, Geoff. But kind of like the Bengals to cover the number at home.
Yeah, me too. I think this is a game where people really do sort of change their thinking on the Bengals. A lot of us already have in some ways. And the irony is there's Tim Anderson, a guy that promotes the Bengals at their lowest of lows, now doesn't want to believe in them. The guy that has Joe Burrow in his keeper and Jamar Chase stapled to the bench is somehow subconsciously being hyper negative towards the Cincinnati Bengals. I think this is going to be a win that really does just really change the conversation about the Bengals. They could be one of my favorite. If you ask me to pick a dog who's going to outright win this week, obviously it's not that bold. The spread's not enormous, but I think it would be the Bengals. I'm tempted to say money line. So obviously give me the points.
I think it's just kind of awkward that when a lot of people look at this, they'll see Packers -3 and just immediately go hit that button. It just seems like such a mismatch of what we thought about these teams coming into the season. I think people still live in that world a little bit. It's not like the Packers have been bad. They were bad for 1 week, and they've been pretty good ever since. But it seems like they just have a lot of flaws.
Yeah, okay, but like Jacksonville played every bit as good as the Bengals did for the whole game last Thursday. So, okay. Like the Packers have beaten San Francisco. The Packers have beaten good teams.
Well, they beat San Francisco. They also beat Pittsburgh and Detroit, and Pittsburgh might not
Pittsburgh's
be
a fine team.
Since when's a Pittsburgh a fine team? According to you, according to me, they were a fine team. I might have been wrong. You said they beat.
I'm right back on them again. Like this week, when we get to that game. Like I'm not gone from there yet. But I don't know. Like I just think the line's too short. I think we're gonna look back at this game in a month and say, my goodness, we only had to lay 3 with the Packers. I think the true line should probably be closer to 7. I think there is a marked difference between this Packers team and this Bengals team. The Bengals are a fun story. The Packers are just better. This is a spot where I think the public is going to get this one, right? Because the sharps will be on the Bengals and the public will be on the Packers. I think the public get one over here. I think it's hip to be square, as Huey Lewis would say. I'm taking the Packers, which is probably the squarest side on the board this week.
Well, the sharpest person that we all know, the coin, is taking the Bengals in this spot as well, Geoff. What are you doing there? Oh, I think we may have lost Jeff's audio.
No, I just heard something weird happen. I thought you did lose me, though.
No, I threw it to you, but that's okay. We can move on to the next game. Round of Cincinnati, -10. We got a few of those so far.
You were giving credit to the coin for being the sharpest, and then I guess I lost what might have come next, and I guess it was a throw. To me, I'm scared. The AFC, just these quarterbacks, some teams have fallen off potentially, but there are other teams that are going to be in this picture now, and the Bengals are one of them. And
the Jets are one of them.
oh, God.
Patriots and Texans. This line, I don't quite understand. So maybe it's a trap. The Patriots are 8.5-point favorites on the road in Houston. 39.5 is the over-under. I don't see how you can't make the Texans 14-point underdogs at least every single week with Davis Mills at quarterback. He is horrendous. So I'm taking the Patriots -8.5.
Yeah, me too. And we're teasing them down. They're the second part of the teaser. I love the under in this game too. I do not see this game going over 39.5. If I was making gold, silver, and bronze picks, the under would definitely be amongst the most attractive picks, because I just don't. The Texans cannot score, and the Patriots don't need to score. Like, doesn't this game have 21-3 or 21-9 written all over it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
When I locked in the Bills last week at -17 as my super lock, when I told you guys, like, if the Bills score 25 points, they're going to cover that spread, and they only needed to score 18 to cover that spread, as it turned out. And with this one, hell, if the Patriots score 16 points, they might cover the spread. And Damian Harris is going to run all over the Texans.
One would imagine. I don't see how you play Houston here. I just don't.
So last week, what would the team total have been for Houston? Because I saw at halftime,
It was 3.5.
people laughing on the internet that their second half team total was 3.5. So their full game team total was probably what, 12 or 13, 14 points. And I'm interested what it would be this week. But I guess to Pat's point, the only time you're going to, like, it's got to be 14 points versus almost anybody in football for me right now to consider Texans. So 9, 10, I'd be in. And this number probably goes up.
Oh, yeah, this will be 12.5 by the time Sunday comes around. So if you want the Patriots, get it now. I think the team total for the Texans is 13.5. I do the spread in total in my mind very quickly. Brendan Cooks? Cooks' revenge game?
Maybe, but we're just straining here to come up with a reason to like the Texans.
Rex Burkhead? Danny Amendola? Brendan Cooks' revenge game? They just have a bunch of old Patriots.
Yeah, and other than Cooks, none of them are all that good anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if Cooks is all that good with Davis Mills. He legit can't throw it to him.
Well, what can you do? Like, what can you do? I said to you on Sunday, why don't they play their backup? Because whoever their backup is can't play worse. He could play as badly, but he can't be worse.
Then you said you could play as well as Davis Mills.
Look, I can hand the ball off. I can take the snap and shotgun and throw little out routes.
No, you can't. You can't throw a set of keys 7 feet. I don't think you can throw an out
route.
Oh,
I'm not that bad.
Well, you can't play third base in softball because you can't throw it from third base to first base.
I can get it there, just one hop sometimes.
On like an arc, not like a laser beam. So that's a tough.
No, I never contended to have a third baseman's arm.
Even in slow pitch, where the bases are 60 feet apart, like Little League.
Yeah, I'm not a. My arm is not strong. I was a very good glove, but not a good arm.
Geoff, I mean, I can't imagine anyone bets the Texans, even when it gets to 12.5 or wherever the hell it goes to. This is going to be, we talked about, like, Tim said the Packers might be the biggest one side of any game. I feel like the Patriots are going to be the biggest one side of any game. Like, are we walking into a trap?
I don't know. I'm not, like, as confident in terms of, like, running to bet the game as it seems like you two might be, although I don't think Tim actually bets anyway. That being said, for the purposes
I lost all my pro lines last
for the purposes of picking the game, it's really it's simply Patriots or bust. And anything up to 14, I don't even consider Houston until 14. And I don't know who they play upcoming, but I'll be curious. Even like the Jets, I'd lay double digits, I think, at this point.
Yeah, that's probably a more of a tough scene in that spot. Although you might be right on that one. I might maybe just super locking in against the Texans might be the move every single week. Titans at Jacksonville. Titans are 4-point favorites on the road. 48.5 is the over-under. I don't have any status update on A.J. Brown or Julio Jones. They could both be back. One of them could be back. They could both be out again in this game. Turns out that offense isn't so great when you're down your two best receivers and you have to use Josh Reynolds as your number one. You can only give Derrick Henry the ball so many times, and that's really what the Jets did. Like, hey, Derrick Henry, go and beat us. You can have as many rushing yards as you want, and we're just going to beat up on your terrible defense. And we're going to that is the one thing I will give the Jets, Tim, that they really did get to Tannehill over and over.
They did.
I was actually surprised his mobility didn't come into play a little bit more, but I think it's because his receivers just couldn't get open. He had to hold on to the ball so long.
For McNichols.
Yeah, McNichols is great. Just dump it to him out of the backfield. The most valuable handcuff in fantasy football, Jeremy McNichols, at the moment. I know the Jags covered 4 last week, but now they had 7 to play with in that game. 4 with this whole Urban Meyer thing that's going on, Geoff. That feels like right in your wheelhouse of like NFL stories, like that you would just be intensely following.
It's been interesting. It's a weird one. I mean, you mentioned you think the Patriots could be the biggest one side here. I think it actually could be the Titans. Awful loss, so people assume of an embarrassing loss to the Jets.
It wasn't embarrassing.
People would assume.
Stop it. Just stop it. Saying things you don't believe.
I went back to put an embarrassing loss to the Jets. So I think like no one wants to bet on the Jags. I think they're like an auto fade this week because people are just fading the situation that they're in. Seems pretty weird. I like most, like he's going to be gone soon. He's not going to last the year. I don't think he likes it. And he's got no problem bailing on a bad idea. So he'll be gone. It's a spread. The spread feels like it could almost even be off the board at some point.
The coin is taking Jacksonville in this spot. I just think 4 isn't enough. It'll probably grow as the week goes along. In fact, if it didn't grow, I'd start to be concerned. It was a lot like and we were both on the Giants and Jets, I think, last week, Geoff. I was on both of them. And just to look at the number, and the number just moved back towards both those teams as it went along. And it was like, oh, it's probably good news. And then it got so low that it was like, it kept some people off of it at that point too. But it was Cam who had both of them. I think he even parlayed the money lines together because Cam, the pooches, they got to come through every now and then. I'll take the Titans -4. I don't love it.
Blind Titans. There's nothing to bet Jacksonville on. Although against this secondary, Tim was so happy about the highlights that Zach put up. Trevor's gonna make the exact same highlights.
Well, he better if he's gonna justify the greatest QB since Andrew Luck, John Elway to come out of the draft stuff. Let's see what he does after the guy who went just after him. Played fantastically. A lot of pressure on Lawrence to play well this week, in my opinion. Good barometer playing the Titans back-to-back weeks. That being said, I watched enough from Tennessee last week to know that they're still a pretty good football team, even though.
So now they're good.
I think I called them last week a Super Bowl contender on the show. I mean, I think they still have a lot of pieces. Yes, they had some injury problems, but they nearly grabbed that game at the end a couple of different times. Yeah, I'll jump along with you boys, and I'll take the Titans.
All right, the coin is taking Jacksonville in the spot. Denver is going. Oh man, a two time zone difference, Tim. Is this an auto Pittsburgh for you? Denver at Pittsburgh?
I mean, it is a Pittsburgh for me because as soon as Denver had to play a real football team, they looked incompetent. And while Baltimore is much better than Pittsburgh's still a decent team, still have some decent pieces. And who's playing quarterback for the Broncos this week?
That we don't know. Teddy's still in concussion protocol, so it still could be him. Obviously, If Teddy is playing, I love Denver in this game. I don't even really hate them with Drew Lock. Like, Drew Lock might be better than Ben Roethlisberger at this point, who's injured again and playing through another injury now.
Yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh, though. I think they're at home. They're the slightly better team. I don't know. I expect them to win. Like, I think the Broncos got to play a very soft schedule to start, and their vaunted defense did not show up against Baltimore. I mean, Lamar carved them up. Now, Lamar is a great quarterback, but he played great. And so you're asking me, do I need the Steelers to win the football game? And I don't see Denver going into Heinz Field and winning the game. I think it's a Pittsburgh win. I don't see the Steelers team losing 4 straight games. I don't think that Mike Tomlin has ever lost 4 straight games. I just don't see it happening.
I'm on the Steelers as well.
Really? I'm the only one taking Denver here? Like, honest to God, if Pittsburgh can't score special teams touchdown in the game, I don't think they can win a game.
I guess we'll see.
They're a desperate football team right now. I don't think they're as bad as they're being made out to be. I still think Denver has a lot of questions at the moment. They now have offensive line injuries. They are getting the worst of an injury bug this year. This will be test. They got bullied by Baltimore. That's sort of what Baltimore does. I obviously agree with everybody that Baltimore is way better than Pittsburgh, but I think there's a recipe at home for Pittsburgh to come out of their shell a little bit potentially.
What shell? They run 4th down plays that are 8 yards behind like the first down marker. Like, they're just ridiculous. They're bad.
Are they not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? That's a great movie.
Why don't you tell people about the movie?
Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Is it?
I liked it.
When was the last time you saw Master of Disguise?
In 2002, whatever year it came out in theaters.
Okay. Thanks for letting us know that. New Orleans at Washington. I don't want to say this is going to make the big screen for the game, but this feels like a very competitive game, and I have no idea what these teams are up to here. So Washington's a 2.5-point dog at home against the Saints. The over-under is 44. It feels like the Saints are going to play a lot of unders this season, Tim. Just with the pace that they play on offense. They want to run so much, but here's the thing. They're not that good at running the ball. So they keep getting the clock to go. They're not scoring a ton of points. They just lost to the Giants. And for all the offensive injuries that Washington has at the moment, whether it be on the offensive line or in the receiving corps, at least they seem spry on offense. They will take shots down the field. It's like, you have Jameis and you're letting him throw 2 bombs per game? Like, what are you doing? What's the point of starting him? Just start Taysom Hill at that point and run it every single time.
And they're not using Kamara enough. They have one of the best.
They're using Kamara a ton, but they're not throwing to him.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, they're not throwing him the ball and getting him in open space where he, in some ways, is most effective. I don't quite understand the game plan. Look, clearly the Washington defense is nowhere near as good as we thought it was. And again, last week it was exposed by Atlanta, of all teams. Atlanta, who'd be lucky to score 5 points this week, scored, 30 against Washington? Like, that's discomforting if you're a Washington football fan. So we're going to take Washington here only because I think these two teams are very close, and I'm going to take the points and the home dog. But not with any sort of conviction, because I can't figure out New Orleans week to week. You know, they're beating good teams. They're losing to bad teams. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Like you said, they're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And at least I know that Washington is just going to be scrappy in every game. I was wrong to think they would be in every game 14-13. Maybe they'll be in every game 34-30. Who can say? But I'll just take the points and take Washington.
Do you have a read on either of these two teams, Geoff? Because I wanted to play, I mentioned this to Pizzola last week, that and that's why we took the Giants, that if the Saints are big favorites, bet against them. If they're dogs, bet on them. But now this is a less than field goal spread. I feel like I'm going to take the Saints because I think they just outclass Washington at a lot of different positions, but it's going to be a grind.
Okay, you kind of alluded to it. I just think in the end they outclassed them. Tim made the point that, probably pound for pound, The Redskins defense, the most disappointing unit in the entire National Football League. Game I don't know what to make of. I liked him, have had the Saints, I could be 0-4 in picking their games this year. I thought they could be discombobulated on the neutral sites. I thought they'd be a hornet's nest coming back home this week. I've just been dead wrong on them. That being said, they have two really nice wins, Patriots, Packers. They kick some ass in those games. Those are nicer than I've seen anything. Those just stick out to me more than anything on the Washington ledger. So I got to pick this game. I'm not going to bet it. At least I don't think I am, unless someone way smarter than me tells me to. But the Saints here.
Yeah, the Saints will be out without their kicker, Will Lutz, and Tony Jones is expected to be out 3 to 4 weeks. Adam Schefter just tweeted that out as we're recording this. So feel like I should update you on that. NFC North game, Detroit at Minnesota. Oh, boy. There's some just crap games this week. -7's the spread for the Vikes at home. 49.5 is the over-under. It opened at 50.5. That's come down a little bit. The Lions, I mean, are they just as bad as are they like the frisky Texans? Because they're not good, and Goof is terrible. So I know I'm according to Cam, I'm not supposed to say, right, Tim?
No, that's right. Apparently those are fighting words. If you call somebody a goof, that's when bloodshed begins. I heard.
Let's see who the coin is taking in this one. Let's see here. Coin is going to take Minnesota. I feel like I want to take Minnesota, but this game just reeks of backdoor cover because Minnesota, for whatever reason, unless it's the Seahawks that they're playing, just doesn't feel like they can ever put anyone away. Like they could have put the Browns away last week. They had a chance and just blew it again. Blew it at the end against Arizona. Like they're a good team. And your boy Anthony Barr is going to be back this week, Tim. That could really help out their defense. But like DeAndre Swift will make 2 guys miss and score an 80-yard touchdown. They'll have some sort of weird Khalif Raymond kick return touchdown, and all of a sudden they're within 6, despite the fact that they were never actually in the game. So
yep. Lions, yeah.
What's that?
Lions, road dome, in division, too many points. I think the Vikings win by 3. So give me the Lions to win.
I actually probably might be the most confident in a side in this game, and for me it is the Vikings. I will lay these points here. I think the Lions might be one of, like, in some ways they're overrated, and last week was a great spot for the Bears in the sense that 66-yarder, people thinking the Lions are so tough and they worked hard and were hard done by. Like they still weren't. I didn't think 3 points from the Bears was a proper line when the advanced line on that game was 6. And because the Lions fought hard, we got incredible value on the Bears last week. They get a lot of respect for fighting hard. Some early season fighting hard can live in public sentiment way longer than it needs to be. They have injuries on their defensive line. They're not going to be able to get to Cousins. This is going to be a game. They seem few and far between these days where the Vikings get to look good and be a pretty girl. I think they show it off at home.
I can just see the backdoor coming in here because the Vikings defense sucks.
Well, I mean, they did hold the Browns to 14 points, and that came off a 2-point conversion field goal.
I would say we watched that game. I know you were very focused on the Jets game, weren't really tuned into that one, but Baker just played horrible. Like it was, I don't really think it had anything to do with the Vikings defense. He just kept missing open guys.
Fair enough. That's what Baker will do. It's not that good, but still, that Browns team has scored points in bushels this season and last, and they put up 14. So I take your point, but I think the Vikings defense can play okay. They did play okay last week. Oh, and I think this will be a low-scoring type game.
All right, so me and you are on the Lions, Minnesota for the coin in Geoff. Tim, what can you tell me about Hamza Nasir Reddeen on the Jets?
Very little to nothing.
Well, I can tell you, he's just been placed on the injured reserve.
Okay, well, all the best to him, but I don't know who he is.
Okay, don't even know your own team. That's not good news. He could have been the hinge player this week.
Look, that was the hinge. I mean, I guess I forgot to mention that, but in the tweets, I did tell people or in the text, that Jets Titans game was the hinge of history game in the AFC. Because it was going to decide whether the Titans were going to run away with the AFC South and maybe even get the bye because they have such a soft schedule, or whether the Jets would be allowed like a fox into the henhouse and be allowed with that quarterback and those receivers and that team that's building confidence in itself to allow them in the hunt for the playoffs. And the Titans didn't win and the Jets did. And that's sort of like, again, it's when we look back on it, that will have sort of changed the face of the season.
Miami and Tampa Bay, Battle of Florida. It's in Tampa. They're favored by 10. 48 is the over-under. Doesn't seem like enough points. Like Brissett can only complete passes 5 yards at a time. Fortunately, Tua's back next week, Tim. And that's going to be great news for Dolphins and Dolphins fans. They can kick off their season for real now that his ribs will have healed. Something in me just wants to blindly take the Dolphins because I feel like the spread should be bigger, but I'm not going to fall into that trap and talk my galaxy brain myself out of taking the Bucs here off a very close game on Sunday night. And listen, Belichick did a great job along with the weather of slowing down Tom Brady. I just don't know the Dolphins should know. Brian Flores should know Brady and try to do the same thing. But I just think that there are too many weapons on the front right now. And Miami is getting no pass rush to speak of, and they can't block anyone, Geoff. So Bucs -10 at home.
It has not been fun for the Dolphins this year for those expectations. I'm not picking them. I'll take the Bucs here. I'll lay the 10. This isn't like a real money game that I'm looking forward to betting, but in many ways there are many units on the Dolphins. They just look like a shadow of the team, like that ultra high-end competitive all phases of the game team. And I think we're a week or two away from true desperation there. They're going to get Deshaun Watson. And that might happen sooner than later. They're seeing what's happening in the AFC. Like, you want a ticket at the table, you better have Mahomes, you better have Allen. If you want to be in that next tier, you better have Herbert, you better have Burrow, you better be complete like the Browns. And if you have a rookie and you're going to lose, you want to see those Wilson ceilings and some of those other things. So they're just an other team right now. They're literally just an also ran next guy team in this American Football Conference. And I think they're desperate from an ownership and a managerial perspective. And desperate and maybe a little embarrassed. They could pull off a crazy deal and just not care that he's a serial masseuser.
Tim,
have you, now that the Jets won, were you able to like go on Dolphins Reddit and enjoy? Because when the Jets lose, you kind of like don't get to take full joy, but when the Jets win, you seem extra happy. I'm sure you were in all the Reddits.
Let's just say I had some fun behind enemy lines, checking out some various
You're
Reddits.
Sick. You're sick.
Panthers Reddit, Dolphins Reddit, Patriots Reddit. I had some fun this week. Let's just say. So I look at this game and I'm agreeing with you all, and I'll take the Buccaneers. But I will wag a finger here and say the last 2 weeks, like, the Bucs look terrible against St. Louis. They look terrible offensively against the Patriots. That's 2 games in a row now that offense looks stymied against defensive coaches that sort of figured out how to play them effectively. So we'll see going forward against legitimate teams if they too can slow down what Tampa is doing. We saw this last year where Tampa sort of hit a dry spell. They played very poorly on offense and they had their late bye. They eked past Minnesota. Then they were off to the races. So maybe this is just a little tiny blip for the Buccaneers. But the Dolphins are a get-right team for them. And so be it.
Well, when you hit a dry spell, the number one thing that you can do, as you know better than anyone, Tim, is go for a tug to really get that out of your system. And they were just in New England, talked to Bob Kraft. Now they're going back to Florida. This could be exactly what they need.
Oh, my goodness. Again, I'm not even going down that road.
But you're Tantric Timmy Tugs.
No, I am not.
Triple
that is
T.
not my name. I have enough nicknames. I don't need any more.
I saw that there was a Twitter account, your own. I mean, it's probably just another you burner, but it's Tantric Timmy Tugs on Twitter.
Gee, what a shock that there's another. Again, reason 500 why I should be verified, not Garion, is because they keep making up Twitter accounts for me.
Well, have you applied to be verified?
Just someone else to vote for you in polls that you claim you won by getting 4%.
I win polls all the time. Look, Geoff, you're the one who dressed up like Kenny from South Park and led people to say, well, Jeff's in the driver's seat for the most insane vote. And then
I
you
don't know
tried
what
to
you're
fight.
talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think
video
I think one person
evidence from the week.
Yeah.
Clearly.
People just watched this show so far and heard you compare Zach Wilson as a combination of Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes, and Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas.
I stand by everything I said. What I said was true.
Okay, good to know.
Speaking of which.
Speaking of which?
Oh, okay, yes. We can do watchability first.
No, yeah, okay, yeah, thanks. Thank you. You producing the show now? Go ahead. Produce the show.
No, I'm a moron and know nothing. And you are the all-knowing oracle.
Yeah. Why don't you let me do the transitions, pal?
Sorry.
You can do them from now on, though, if you want. I will cede the floor to you.
I want nothing to do with that. All I want is people to go on iTunes and rate the show and give us nice comments.
It's actually called Apple Podcasts.
Or whatever it's called now. Go on there. 5 stars. Leave a nice review.
Stop cursing people. Now they're not going to do it.
This is a tough week for watchability, I have to say.
That is sort of the thing I was looking at. I wasn't joking when I said that New Orleans, Washington might be the game. That seems to be the most competitive one.
Bengals, Packers.
Philly and Carolina? Is that the big TV game?
I said I don't think Green Bay and Cincinnati ought to be, but
could be.
Yeah,
it's Bengals Packers for me.
Yeah, that's the way I'm feeling too. I mean, Dolphins Buccaneers we have their reasons because there could be lots of points in that game.
Is there?
Steelers Broncos.
No, that game is sad. We're not putting that on the big screen.
Yeah,
okay, I guess so. If we're strictly like entertainment and quarterback play, it's Bengals and Packers.
It wouldn't be
Eagles Panthers.
Yeah, Eagles Panthers. How are you feeling about our Sam Darnold 100-1 MVP tickets, Geoff?
Listen, it's comedy. I like the Panthers, but it's just don't mind me. I'm just snickering in the corner when people are talking about Derek Carr for MVP.
Yeah, but what if Sam Darnold rushes for 13 touchdowns?
Yeah, dual threat quarterback.
Sammy Scrambles. That's what I hear they're calling him these days.
They've been calling him that for years. Sam is very elusive, and I'm glad to see him playing well in Carolina.
Yeah, he just eluded the curse to a new location. He's playing well.
Look, I've been saying since the preseason that I support Sam, and I hope he does well. He has my full endorsement.
He also, these days, he's looking a bit svelte, and it now appears like he no longer suffers from hyperhidrosis.
He never did to begin with. This was just you finding reasons to make fun of him because I liked him, and because he's on Jeff's second favorite team, Geoff liked him, and we saw like these highlight plays from him, but you couldn't have that. And so you had to find.
Yes, Tim. It's been me who's been wrong about Sam Darnold for the past 4 years. I'm sorry.
Yes, I mean, I would say that the last few weeks have been a real weight on the scales towards the position that Geoff and I take.
Not really, considering I'm the one who bet him to be MVP this year, not you.
Yes, but you didn't do that because you thought he was going to be good. You did that to play some sort of like voodoo reverse curse nonsense. Let's be honest.
In which he plays good.
Which is working.
Whatever, man. I like Darnold. I hope Sam plays great. He's got my support.
All right. Well, we are at the midway point of the show, which means it's time for a Cust Corner mini.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner.
So I got 2 things. What do you want to go through? You know what they are. I sort of gave you a highlight of what I was going to talk about.
I assume we were talking about the return of McDonald's monopoly, which even though you said it on last week's show that you were not going to partake in, you promised us that you had all this willpower. You lasted 12 fucking hours. And that's not even really 12 hours, because what time did you wake up this morning?
I woke up at 7 and I was in meetings until 12:30, so I couldn't leave before 12:30. I would have gone at like 8 o'clock if I could have.
Technically, I don't think they're like you say 12 hours, but I don't think they're serving the new
Breakfast started this morning.
Yeah, I think it's the start of like this morning's workday. I think like the 3 a.m. overnight aren't using the cups yet or anything. So he lasted 4 hours.
But he was in meetings, so he couldn't even go. He also, guess what he finally did, Geoff? At your recommendation, I'm guessing. He downloaded the app and found deals on it.
And so there are some plus EV moves here for those of you who are in the Monopoly collecting business as I am. So the app has deals right now that run.
You're the only one you're telling that there's deals on the app too.
But they run through the end of this week, and on things you can get stickers on. So
and guess what, Tim? Next Monday there'll be all new deals.
But again, this is the plus. I sort of like cracked the code here yesterday. I realized.
No, this is like you realizing that someone's car trunk can lift.
No, it's not that at all. What I figured out was, like, for example, I got a free coffee because they have a recurring deal right now on the app that if you spend over a certain amount, you get a free coffee.
How much?
Those coffee stickers on it. So I got stickers for free today.
Hold on. How much do you have to spend in order to get that?
It's not much. It's like $5. Like, it's actually not that much.
How much did you spend at McDonald's today?
Enough. Okay.
How much money did you said that you were going to keep track of the money you spent during McDonald's Monopoly? How much did you spend today? Can I guess?
Yes.
Will you be honest?
I will be honest.
$37.
You're close. It was 35.
I'd guess 32 because he's using the combo for like the free value or like the $6.50 value meal. So he's getting it like drink, sandwich.
He got 4
cup,
drinks.
And then he's getting side drinks. He's probably getting McFlurry. Like what was
there's no stickers on McFlurries, so no.
Okay. I'm sorry. But you thinking you cracked some code because you're getting discounts on the app?
But it's using the discounts on things that you get the stickers on. For example, today I got a coffee for free from the app. On that coffee, I won a free Egg McMuffin. Well, guess what? Egg McMuffins have the stickers. So for nothing, I now have got 4 cracks at winning. This is just, it's that Tampa Bay Rays 2% thing, right? It's the crack the code, the plus EV living. If you want to, if you apply yourself seriously to this competition, if you mean business, as I do, you can reap dividends here. I mean, this year, the slogan for the McDonald's Monopoly is the thrill of victory. And that is precisely what they're selling this year, is that thrill that you can have from winning. I got my game board ready. I got the pieces ready. I've already put some on. I am very excited. When we're finished recording, I'm going to go get some more. It's the first week. And so I realized that they probably put the best stuff early on because they want people to come out and get it. And plus, of course, I'm going to go back for more. And yes, I'm going to go back for some more tonight. And the thing is, this is the best time to be opening because you haven't got all those places yet. So the odds of you getting a place that you haven't got is really high. And there's such a, like, it's a thrill. The verb to thrill is exactly right. There's a thrill of unveiling that board and seeing, or that sticker and seeing what you've got. I'm already set in one spot already on my board. I am getting close to being set in a second spot on my board, and it's shaping up. Now, I'll roll back. I won't be going to spend that kind of money every day at McDonald's, but I have a couple of different strategies this year. First, I'm going to be hitting multiple different McDonald's, so I'm not using just one location, so that I'm increasing my opportunities of getting the best prizes and a variety of stickers.
Yeah, but what if hold on. What if all the winners are actually at that one spot though? Then you're decreasing your chances.
The odds of that are very unlikely.
No,
What do you
usually
mean the
there's
odds
just
are
a
unlikely?
loaded box. Usually it's like a loaded crate. Like
No. But see, I don't know where that loaded crate is, so I've got to keep trying to hit all these different places.
Well, why would it?
Okay,
If you don't know, how would it make a difference of where you go to?
It's like fishing in a lake where there's a marvelous fishing spot, but you're only going to know where it is once you try enough spots to know and hit where that spot is. So that's what I'm doing. I'm on a big old lake with a pontoon boat and fishing gear, and I'm just casting my my rod and reel until I find that fishing spot. Then until I hit.
you're running fucking 2-a-days.
and I
2
gotta
days
go.
at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's what. Well, yes,
Yeah.
this is my.
If
training
you want
camp.
to be committed like me, it involves 2-a-days.
So-
And it involves going after the gym. I'm Tim.
Oh,
will be going after
listen.
the
When you're doing 2 a days at McDonald's during Monopoly, the gym is out the window. Here's what I want people to
quite
do.
the opposite.
I want you people out there, Canadians, because I believe it's only available in Canada right now. I know when the American one is. But if McDonald's Monopoly is available in your area, what I would like you to do is, if you go to McDonald's and you have some stickers, please take a video of you just throwing them in the trash and send it to
Oh,
Tim,
don't
please.
do that. Don't do that. No, listen, McDonald's gives gifts out for you by getting free abilities to win big prizes and small prizes. Even if you're not playing the game, you can still unpeel a free cheeseburger or peel a free drink or a free egg McMuffin. So you got to look. I mean, you got
But you don't even like those. You
No, I
prefer-
don't, unless this is the first time I was happy it was on a McMuffin because those get the stickers. So at least I bought myself 2 new stickers with 1 sticker. But
See,
on
like
the-
to me, it's a big win if I get a free cheeseburger.
no,
from
I don't
you.
want that. I'm trying to win the big prizes. I want that Chevrolet, even though I really don't. I want that big TV, even though I really don't. I want this stuff so that I'm a winner. And that when they put the commercial on TV of saying, oh, so-and-so from so-and-so has won this prize, that could be me. That could be my name. People could be seeing me as a big winner on television every night when they're watching Wheel of Fortune
like,
or whatever. That's
people
what I
need-
want.
To know that when I spoke to Tim today, when I came on to this recording, he says to me, "You understand? Like we're closer to 40 if we have to pick an age bracket."
Not Tim.
Just
Tim's
to me-
Tim's actually closer to 30. We're closer to 40. Tim's young. Don't forget that.
Did you play today? And I'm like, did I play today? Like golf? Like, what do you mean? Did I play today? It's like, no, man. You go to McDonald's and roll.
Pat knew exactly what I meant.
I had no idea what you meant. Did I play today? Like,
How
I
could
give
you
a
not?
shit.
How could you not? It's opening day.
Opening day.
And like I was advised to go more often early because the best prizes might be there early.
Who
Did
told
you
who,
harass
hold on,
Hughes
hold on.
today?
Who told you that?
Our friend in that text thread recommended that I go more early rather than wait till the end of it when there's fewer things available.
I'm pretty
Did you
sure.
harass
Hold
a
on,
senior?
Jeff. The friend that he's alluding to who told him that in the text thread was me to get him to go. He forgets it was me who said that.
No, it wasn't you.
Yeah, it was.
And no, I didn't. I actually didn't. I did the drive-through, Jeff, so I didn't actually see anybody.
So you haven't rummaged the garbage or harassed the senior yet?
No, I didn't do any of those, and I wouldn't do those things.
You're going
Uh,
back tonight. I get you could.
I am going back tonight because I've got to look. I'm wired to play. I want to play. Like I
You
still have
spent
like
$35 today. You're going back tonight to spend how much more, you think?
not much more, maybe 10, 15 more bucks.
Okay,
No,
so hold on. You're at $50 for today, and you've won a free English muffin. So
and a bunch of prizes, and a bunch of properties. I'm set at all kinds of spots already. At the red spots.
okay, so
I have
all
blue, I have
you
orange.
what you have won so far, you won an English muffin. What's an English muffin, like 89 cents?
Yes, I also want a free 4-hour course to some online place.
What?
Yeah, I'd have never heard of it before. It's like some free online course. Apparently, there's 1.2 million of these courses available in the game. I won one of those.
Okay, I can't speak to that or what its value may be. Maybe that's the most expensive thing that you can win. But right now you're down $49 and you've increased your risk of heart disease by 17%.
I didn't eat all the food.
Oh, what?
You know this. I don't eat all the food.
You're
with it.
throwing away food.
I eat until I'm satisfied.
What do
and
you do
then
with the
I get rid
food?
of it. throw it out.
So you're the same person who won't run a shower for 3 seconds to allow the hot water to come on because that's wasteful. You're going to buy food and fucking throwing it in the garbage?
Well, but water is a natural resource that I'm talking about McNuggets here. That's not quite the same thing. How many McNuggets can one person eat at lunchtime?
I'm sure that there's a lot of people, Tim, out there who would, enjoy to have some food that you're just throwing in the trash.
I had this idea that during McDonald's monopoly, McDonald's should have it set up so that you can go through the drive-thru whatever and purchase 6 meals, but only get one, and then the money for the 5 others gets donated to charity, and you get the sticker.
Do you know why? Do you know why that didn't occur to them or anyone besides you? Because not everyone is a fucking addict.
Well, no, not everybody.
I always thought that the bar room slot machines that you can play was the lowest addiction you can have, beyond like the people who like rip off the thing to try to get their cherries at the like convenience store. This is the single lowest addiction you can have, and it's bad. You need help.
It's not an addiction.
You just talked about the thrill of playing.
That's what the slogan for this year's contest is.
You said you weren't gonna play, and then you went on the first lunch of the first day.
Well, I said I don't know how long I can last, and then Pat said, "Well, you might as well go."
Pat said you might as well go. Like,
yes,
it dawned on you.
I'm not.
That's your scapegoat. Pat
There's no
said.
scapegoat. There's no scapegoat. I make my own choices, but look, it also makes me really happy to play. It's thrilling. It's fun.
Good for you.
And I'm going to win big. And then when I do, and my name's on those TV commercials, and people get to see me with the car or whatever, like, then who will look like a fool, huh?
When was the last time that they actually hold on,
man?
Well, when did they actually last run one of those McDonald's winners commercials? 1997?
I think they run it every year.
No. You think that they do because you saw it in the 90s at one point. When was the last time you actually saw one?
I remember, I thought last year, like after a couple of weeks in.
Now, can you confirm that that's the case?
No, I can't. I'm going off of what I believe off of what I remember.
So you're living your truth?
Look, it's the most popular board game in the world at the most popular restaurant in the world. I'm not doing anything unusual or fringe or strange. I'm doing something that millions of Canadians are going to be doing. Millions upon millions. It's fun. It's exciting. It's not an addiction. I don't have to do it. I just like doing it. It's not hurting anybody. It's not an addictive thing.
Tim, people who do heroin also love doing heroin. It doesn't make it not an addiction.
This is not an addiction.
I love smoking cigarettes. I understand I am addicted to cigarettes. It's not good for me. I know that. I can't help myself. Although I do enjoy when I smoke. It's part of the thing. But
I'm
it's
only going to, most days are just going to be coffee runs. I'll buy like 4 coffees.
You say that now, you're spending $50 on day one. You're going to have
opening day.
You're going to have no money left in order to do this.
It's opening day. He's got to fill the board. He's got to fill his board. He can't have a barren board.
That's it. I have an empty board, and I got excited, and it's opening day, and there's all these deals, and I had never used the app before to order things, and I got overwhelmed. But look, it was first day, so it won't be like that tomorrow.
Ladies know because I've bragged. I mean, I don't play this game, but your relationship with the staff that you hold so fondly, like they know Timmy Tuggs is here for Monopoly for 2 days.
So first, no one calls me that. Secondly, I have to shake up my orders for the month of October because the things I usually order are not Monopoly things. So it'll take them a while, I think, to see me order things I don't usually order.
The only thing that they would think is, hey, that insane person's back again for the 3rd time today.
Well, I guarantee you that McDonald's has tons of people who are regulars. And when I say regulars, I don't mean once a week. I mean 1 to 3 times a day regulars.
I would say that you are correct on that because there are the people at almost every McDonald's ever that like have their spot at McDonald's when you walk in. Like if you've ever been
a lady near me.
Yeah, like if you've been into a McDonald's, like you go like what? It's like the guy that I always see at the gym. I'm like, man, we always come at the same times. Then it occurs to me, it's like, no, I don't come all that often. He's just always here. That's kind of the thing. Like when you walk into a McDonald's and you only go once every 2 months or once every 3 months, or maybe you go once every 2 weeks, whatever it is, and there's always the same person there, you guys aren't on the same schedule. They're just always there.
And me and like my friends behind the counter make fun of that lady together, but for all I know, they're also making fun of me. So it's a dangerous web.
Yeah. That's going to be Tim. He's going to have a spot at McDonald's just carved out for him. He'll have his own ass groove and everything.
I would love to have my own spot at a place like McDonald's, like sort of like Norm's bench or Norm's stool in Cheers.
That's really
You pay
sad.
the cover. Like during Monopoly, you should have a reserve spot.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, last year I had to go on a detox after McDonald's Monopoly, but then I couldn't because then they made the EMMs 2 for $5, and it was too good of a deal.
Yeah, like we said.
So it took me another month.
Yeah.
Then I really did go on a detox.
Yeah, you're the unpaid Morgan Spurlock.
I just, look, I went a little overboard today, but that won't be every day. Tomorrow, maybe I'll go once or twice, and I won't go for big orders. And then on Friday, I'll probably go once or twice, but again, for small orders, maybe a hash brown and a coffee or 4 coffees, and that's it.
4 coffees.
I might as well get them.
Have you pre-ordered from your app yet?
No, I don't like doing that. I'd rather be there in person to do that.
Well, why? You know what you're getting. You know what has the stickers. This way, you didn't have to worry about the drive-thru. You can just show up and they bring you the stuff outside.
Well, fair enough. I haven't done that. I'm sort of good with just going through the drive-thru.
Make them scan the coupon like in the drive-thru?
Yeah, you just hold your phone out and they just scan it real quick. It has one of those QR codes.
I know what it is, but you're okay. Whatever.
All right, I think that went. It sounds like you have a good grasp on reality. I'll give you that.
Yes, I do.
So self-aware.
Yes,
I am self-aware. I'm very aware.
You don't see how this doesn't sound insane?
It's not insane. I'm playing a game that everybody plays.
No, that's called like Sudoku in the paper.
Look, Geoff, I take McDonald's Monopoly very seriously. You know this. This is like a highlight of my year. Is that the ability? Like, I love it. It makes me feel like I'm doing something important.
Listen, I encourage people to do anything that makes them feel happy and feel alive. And you're so rich, you can afford this.
No.
Premium item habit.
I am a man of the people, and the commoners enjoy this game. It's at the most popular restaurant. It's the most popular game.
No, you're an elitist. You're playing the game unfairly. The common man randomly gets McDonald's for lunch, makes a couple pulls here and there. You're in some intense competition. The common man is laughing at you.
No, they look up to me.
Yeah, the common man isn't dropping $3.50 a week at McDonald's. I hate to tell you.
I'm not going to drop $3.50 a week at McDonald's. I told you that. Like,
you also told us you weren't going to play.
Like, you know how people, like, if they know they're going to go to Vegas, like, set aside a certain amount of money to take to them to Las Vegas?
Yeah, and then they end up spending like 10, and they end up maxing out their credit card, then can't tell their wife, and are still paying it off to this day, if you're watching?
Sometimes. But I, like, set aside some money that is going to be McDonald's Monopoly specific money.
So how much money do you have set aside for McDonald's Monopoly?
I don't want to say.
Say it.
Sounds
say it.
No, I don't want to.
Is it over under $1,000?
It's exactly $1,000. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to spend that much. In fact, I'm probably not going to spend that much but it's a month. And so like 30 days, 30 times 30 is 900. So I'm probably not going to get to that 1,000 mark. But like, if I want to like go out and like cater an event somewhere with a bunch of friends and we just do McDonald's so I can have all the stickers, like maybe it gets to that.
You realize that once, like, let's say on Sunday, you come over to Mayo Media Network headquarters, you get McDonald's for everyone. You give me the fries. They're my fucking stickers now, pal.
What if I take the stickers off before you get the fries?
You can get the fuck out of the house.
What if I ask you for the stickers?
You can't have them. They're mine.
Oh, but I want them.
So you only did something nice for you.
No. You're getting free food.
Am I? I'm not getting everything that comes with it. You've taken stuff out of it.
I just took look, I'll ask you for the stickers. If you really, really want the stickers, I suppose you can keep them.
But, well, I'll just burn them. I won't even open them.
But what if they're going to give me like a set?
Well, that's unfortunate. You should have kept that thing of fries.
You're mean. Anyway, I set aside 1,000. I don't expect to spend that kind of money on McDonald's this month. I really don't. It even sounds bad when you say it out loud.
No
That
shit.
makes
No
me feel
shit.
So much better about like how much money I'm putting on Patrick Reed this week. This guy's got 1,000 for McDonald's.
We have our gambling budgets. He has his McDonald's Monopoly budget.
Like,
But it's not going to, like I said, I'm almost certainly not going to come close to spending that amount of money.
Well, you're on pace to go over it by a lot.
I know, but that won't be the everyday thing. My goal is if we could be shrewd and spendthrift and keep it to $500, that'd be fine.
Well, good luck. This is not an addiction, you say, right?
No, it's just we're just having fun. And I got multiple texts and tweets and messages from people today saying, happy McDonald's Monopoly Day, enjoy the day. You must be real excited. The Jets got a big win. Now Monopoly starts. Like, people know the sorts of things that put smiles on my faces. And so for all of you who reached out in various ways, thank you. It's not go unnoticed.
All right, let's get to this late set of games. It is Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so I'm going to be coming home and eating turkey with my family and missing a really good. I mean, I'll have the games on here, but not, I won't have the TV wall.
You're doing your Thanksgiving on Sunday? Who does Thanksgiving on Sunday?
People who have to work on Monday?
Most people don't work on Monday. It's the holiday.
Tim, guess who works on fucking Mondays?
Some people do.
Who would you say that you're talking to that works on Mondays?
Okay, fair enough. I'm just saying.
We don't all have jobs where we have to work for 3 hours a week and pretend that we work 40.
My family always did Thanksgiving on Mondays.
We never did it on Mondays. We always did it on Sundays.
Jeff?
Sundays, to be honest, I think. Sunday dinner.
Yeah. It makes it easier. People who actually work for a living, they have to work on Mondays.
It was always Monday at lunchtime. That was our Thanksgiving.
Really, shockingly enough, the rest of the world isn't like your fucking family, Tim.
Well, this just seems like Thanksgiving Day is the Monday, so you should have it. It's like having your big Christmas dinner on the 24th.
Which we do. We also open. I know this is unusual, but we open our presents on Christmas Eve evening so we can sleep in. We might not do that anymore. I was the youngest person in the family for 33 years, so once you don't have kids around, people just want to sleep in on Christmas Day.
I guess I like to get up early.
Yeah, because you're like a little kid.
No, I'm not.
You are. You have the taste buds and the interest of a little kid. So I'm not shocked you love to wake up early on Christmas and open presents as a 34-year-old man.
Well, I just like to get up early and have my coffee and my cinnamon buns. And anyway, my point being, I didn't realize you were doing Thanksgiving on Sunday.
Browns at Chargers. It's a good game, Jeff. Are you scared of the Browns at all? Because you referred to
the Mary Jo Bowl.
Yeah, the Mary Jo Bowl. There we are. She's off OnlyFans, and she's going to be at this game rooting for the Browns. And the Chargers are a 1.5 favorite. 47 is the over-under. I haven't been super impressed by the Browns this year at all. They might not be good, Jeff.
Yeah, they're a really hard team to figure out, and their best performance might have been week 1 versus the Chiefs. Since then, they looked crappy versus the Texans. They played that sabotage game versus Justin Fields and Matt Nagy that it's hard to take anything from. And, they lollygagged their way to a victory versus the Vikings. You score 14 points in this league, you're not going to win very many games. Baker Mayfield has been horrible. It's like I was thinking of Tim on Sunday that the Jets win and he's probably having so much fun at Baker and the other enemies he hates because he gets so little time where he feels like on Sunday night he's at the upper hand. But I don't know, the Browns can run the ball well. You could argue this is a good spot to get the Chargers to emotional back-to-back division wins. It was so cool seeing the Chargers talking after last night's game and referring to the game as a bounce-back victory. And you're like, bounce back? Like that's usually, a birdie off a bogey, a win off a loss. No, it was a bounce back because anybody who liked the Raiders was saying the Chargers are going to sort of be lost in this emotional high. And I guess they, they took a win and said, no, we need to prove that that's not going to happen. Tough game to call. The advanced line was a pick'em. It remains a pick'em. But if Baker Mayfield's not better, they're done. They're done.
I think they need to run and play defense like they've been doing, and that's been a successful method so far, but I don't think they've played a team to the quality of the Chargers. And as we were talking about before the show, I just think the Chargers offense is missing one piece. They're missing the Deshaun Jackson guy who can just run nines down the field, get open, and you have a whole bunch of big dudes. You have one of the best route runners in football, and Eckler out of the backfield. Like Tim talked about that pass that Zach Wilson made, that when he said that at the time that only 3 quarterbacks in football could make that pass, we actually went through 27 quarterbacks in football who could make that pass while we were live in the room. The pass Herbert made to Austin Eckler for that touchdown was immaculate on Monday night. I don't want to pump your tires too much. You can leave that for the Fine Bolt podcast, which will come out, I'm guessing, on Wednesday on Mayo Media Network. You can subscribe to that for a full breakdown of this game, although it's not going to have the raw emotion of last week that took 2 shows to get through for the Chargers. But you were right about their coach so far. And he's doing everything that the internet and people who understand probability want coaches to do in football. He's actually doing it, and it's giving them huge win probability chances in these games. And like he's icing teams because of it.
And not only that, Pat, the plays that they're calling, like in listening to every word he says in the lead ups and even in camp and after the game, they're getting the matchups that they want. Like they're calling these plays, they're putting guys in motion, and they know where the ball is going. Like they know they have a win before they call hut. When a 6'6" Jared Cook's lined up against a 5'11" Denzel Perryman. But there is a relentless aggressiveness that the Chargers are playing with. Up a touchdown midfield, who needs to punt? They're just going for it. And they know they're going for it. And even that fake punt, that was goddamn crazy. But I'll tell you what, if that's like 4th and 7, 4th and 8, 4th and 9, 4th and 10, 4th and 11, 4th and 12, they convert that.
I have to say that you have to admit, I that was one of the most heads up plays I've ever seen in football.
Amazing football play.
Because he read it. He read it before the snap.
Full credit. Yeah, no, there's nothing you could say. My only point being is 4th and 15 is a little too much to bite off. If that's like 4th and 9, he can't make up that yardage, even with his great read and anticipation.
The difference being, if it was 4th and 9, they just would have went for it.
Okay, maybe that. Maybe if it's 4th and 9, the Raiders cover the gunner because at 4th and 15, they think there's no way the Chargers are going for it. I am I don't know what it's like. I don't know what happened to go from Anthony Lynn to this. And I said it. That loss to the Patriots last year will go down as one of the greatest days in Chargers franchise history. It cemented everything. And I had to yell at my daughter on Hanukkah last year because of Coach Lynn. And I'll never get over that. And we're in just a new place right now. And maybe one of these games it's going to backfire, but this is just an attitude. And we're knocking down doors. And we have the Browns and the Ravens next, 2 very tough games, but then the gauntlet. I don't think by the time 6 games are done that anyone will have played a harder 6 games than the Chargers. And then the schedule lightens up. So I'll take a split in these next 2 any way they want to break them off, to be honest.
So after that, you're taking the Browns, did you say?
No. I just like if the Chargers split these back-to-back games versus the Browns and the Ravens, go into their bye, and then Tim talks about an easy schedule. The Chargers schedule gets hyper easy. I don't know. We're 2-0 in the division. I'm fired up. Drew Tranquil, who I've wanted to see play more. Now I'm getting into Fine Bolt stuff. Like that. What a performance. Let's go. And go home. And in closing, the Raiders own the Southwest. Put the Raiders in a game in Arizona. Put the Raiders versus the Rams. Put the Raiders in any game in the Southwest. The crowd is what it is. But the 12-year-old boys, we're coming for their hearts and their minds. We're coming for them.
So, Timmy Tuggs, what do you think about the 12-year-old boys?
Oh, my goodness gracious. Look, I think that the Chargers are the play here. The point Geoff made about, and you guys both made about how Staley's just got a very different game plan, right? It's the old Sun Tzu thing. Every battle is won before it's ever fought. The Chargers come into the game already with a superior approach to how they're going to take apart the game and take advantage of fourth down opportunities to increase their win expectancies. I am totally on board here. I think the Chargers should be the full favorite in this game. The books seem to think the Browns are better. I disagree. I think the Chargers are a full 3 points better. Give me the Chargers. The split is coming because they're not going to beat the Ravens, but they are going to beat the Browns.
Okay. All right, Chicago and Vegas. Vegas coming off an emotion. Oh, that is what I wanted to ask you. Because I saw someone throw this out there. I don't know who it was, but I actually kind of agreed with it. Maybe, Geoff, you won't agree with this, but Tim, I'll throw it to you first. Wouldn't it have made more sense for the Raiders to move to LA and the Chargers to move to Vegas?
100%. The Raiders used to play in LA. There was a natural constituency of people who used to be Raiders fans. The Raiders have been a California team for forever. Like the Chargers, while they've also been in California forever, don't have any.
The Raiders had first rights.
Oh, I know they do, and I understand.
No, they did. The league gave the Raiders first rights.
I get it. No,
and they chose Vegas.
Oh, I'm sure
in a mobster land stadium deal.
I'm sure that the Raiders will end up making way more money being in Vegas. That just makes a lot of sense. You get to be the only game in town, realistically. Like, are they really sweating hockey? No, absolutely not. And you can get a sweet stadium deal, everything like that. Although the Chargers ended up getting one too, in terms of what their lease agreement is. You can talk more about that on Fienberg. I'm sure that you have. But just for like you being a fan of the Chargers, if you could do it all over again, I'm guessing you would want them in Vegas.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't think Vegas would change much of the situation. I think they'd just be overrun with visiting fans anyway.
No, like, I don't think so. Because I think that Vegas, I mean, there's a ton of people in Vegas. People forget that. And they
it would just be better to have the Raiders.
No, but when the Raiders played the Chargers, even if they're the Las Vegas Chargers, it would be a crazy, like 80% Raider crowd.
But it would be better for football, in my opinion, if the Raiders were back in LA with the Raiders.
Agreed. The Raiders just own the Southwest. There's not a team in the Southwest of the United States that can host a football game versus the Raiders that the Raider crowd
I don't agree. I think the Cardinals would. There would be a lot more Cardinals fans than there would be Raiders fans were they to play.
I disagree. I think it would be the exact same, and I'm sure there's recent games to show it.
I would say, I guess, in the Southwest, so that would take the Niners and Seahawks off the board. I'm assuming we're not including Denver in this either.
No, probably just below Denver.
I'm just saying that if the Chargers were in Vegas, it would give them a chance to expand. Like, the Vegas people, man, they show up for these Golden Knights games. They really do. And eventually you would get to a point where there would be a ton of Vegas Chargers fans in Vegas. And then the overflow of fans coming in would just be less and less and less because the team would actually have a ton of fans at that point.
I've been in Vegas 8 years ago at the sport. Like, it's all just been Raider fans. So I agree, but I don't think it would be to the extent, especially in any game, versus the Raiders. And when the Rams play the Raiders, it would be no different than it was last night.
All right. Chicago and Vegas. This one's back in Vegas. Vegas looked good for like 2 drives on Monday night. And then they were like, you know what we should do? Run Josh Jacobs for 2 yards 6 times in a row every time we touch the ball. And that's not going to work because it's a terrible play. And I threw this out in our thread last night, and maybe I'm off on this one. And I'll throw this to you, Geoff. Are the Raiders? I think Josh Jacobs is a good running back. You get fantasy mixed in with this too. But in terms of a real life running back, he's pretty good. But I think that he's like very middle of the road. But the Raiders treat him like he's Derek fucking Henry, and they change their game plan when he is active, and it actively makes them worse.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said. There's any team in the league would want him. And there's probably half the league he would be the best running back on the depth chart. But it does seem like the Raiders are they lack some sort of self-awareness to what his actual ceiling capabilities are, even when he's healthy. The Chargers' run defense had not been good this year, and they got confidence from Josh Jacobs last night.
They should have, because he didn't do anything whatsoever, at least when it was Drake and Peyton Barber. I know Peyton Barber got mixed up that if the run was working, hey, we can stick with the run. But if not, we're just going to throw the entire time, which I know Derek, the pressure that the Chargers brought was pretty good. I didn't expect that because I thought that the Raiders' offensive line was pretty good. Turns out that maybe they were onto the snap count. I don't know what was going on. But Carr didn't have a ton of time. But once they got into their groove, they immediately went away from what they were doing. And they just put too much pressure on them at the end of the game to go deep down the field. But I think that they rebound nicely here against the Bears. The Bears beat up on the Lions at home. This is a different story going to Vegas. We don't even know who's starting for the Bears right now. I'm guessing it's Fields, but if Dalton's healthy, Matt Nagy said that Andy Dalton's going to start, which, Tim, I think is, I threw this out on Twitter, that I think this is a Brewster's Millions situation where Matt Nagy can't tell people that he's trying to get fired, because if he does, he doesn't get the $300 million at the end of the season.
Such a fantastic reference to such a fantastic movie. Just as the Costanza driving around the parking lot with the World Series trophy behind it. I don't know what they're doing. I think he knows he's done, and he's just trying to get as many wins on the schedule as he can to burnish his reputation for the next job. I really don't know. It's hard to figure out. Either which way, I'm taking the Raiders. I just can't, like you said, the Bears got a win last week, but against a completely futile and flat Lions team. Yeah, give me the Raiders, who, even though it's a short week, they've been playing a lot of tough, emotional games. And Geoff talked about this last week. You know, they went to OT the week before. They have been to OT against the Ravens. They played some tough and emotionally draining games. I think they come back with a vengeance here.
Give me the Bears. The Raiders are like a nose hair from having their record flipped in those football games, in my opinion. Give me the Bears, especially if the Raiders are down those corners. Bears will take advantage.
I mean, you are right that their record could most definitely be flipped, although they were beating the crap out of the Dolphins, and the Dolphins just came back on them. And other than that, like, they played the Ravens, they played the Steelers, who Tim thinks are excellent, as we've heard. Now they played the Chargers. They haven't played a bunch of absolute scrubs, and the Bears are
okay.
I think that the Bears are closer to a scrub team than they are a middle of the pack team right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say the thing about the Raider wins is when they happened, which is all that they can go by, like on the day of the game, those were big wins. But in like looking back at all three of them, the Ravens were in a horrible place on that Monday night. The Steelers suck, but on that Sunday morning, they had just beaten Buffalo and were touchdown favorites. And even 2 weeks ago, people didn't think the Dolphins were as pathetic as they think they are now. So on the day of those wins, those were big wins. But in unpacking them from where we stand now, I'm going to take a little bit away from them and give me the Bears.
All right. Giants at Dallas. I assume this is America's game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys are 7-point favorites against Danny Thumbs, and the Giants 52 is the over-under in this spot. Dallas Cowboys, who you got, Tim, are 4-0 against the spread.
They're about to be 5-0. I love Dallas here. The Giants, unlike the Jets, the Giants are like ecstatic that they got a win, and I expect quite a letdown from that win. Dallas has played very good football this season. So we're going to make Dallas the third end of the teaser. And I think Dallas is on the short list for SUPERLOCKs. This is a great spot for them. And again, like I said, the Giants are jubilant from their victory. They everything clicked for them. Daniel Jones played fantastically. The track record suggests that's not going to happen again. And yeah, it's just Dallas is just a better football team. Dallas has figured out how to use Ezekiel Elliott correctly by platooning him with the other running backs that they have. Like they, I think, despite having Mike McCarthy captaining that ship, have figured out how to effectively deploy that offense. And it's exciting and interesting. And I like Dallas.
So, Geoff, do you think that the Cowboys are eventually going to figure out that Mike McCarthy is Dwayne Casey and that Kellen Moore is Nick Nurse?
That's a good reference.
Maybe. I like that analogy. They could be on to something there. Again, another game getting a bunch of turnovers. Cowboys defense, maybe the most impressive unit based on expectations in the entire league. It's the opposite of the Redskins defense, who've been maybe the most disappointing based on expectations. You're almost annoyed if you wanted to bet the Giants that they won, because maybe that Saints game takes something off of them. but I don't know. Give me the Giants. I feel like this is gonna be over a touchdown. So I'd like to say if I bet this game on the Giants, I'll take the finishing line, which could be closer to 10.
I don't know if that's going to end up being the case or not. I can see this being a lot like the Giants and Jets game last week, where we all look at it at 7. I'm going to take the Giants in this spot at +7. I just think it's a lot of points. Danny Thumbs enjoys himself some garbage time. And I don't know how healthy Diggs is going to be. He missed the fourth quarter last week. So, and it's not like Dallas's pass rush has been awesome for the past few weeks, but every pass rush is awesome against the Giants. This is something that they're used to here. So it's more of a bet on Saquon does something stupid, gets an 80-yard touchdown to help us cover a spread here. The Giants do weird giant things, and they cover the number. But I can see this going to like everyone bets Dallas, and then we look on Sunday morning, it's Dallas by 6.5 for some reason.
Maybe I'm on the Giants for this rivalry. It does seem like a big number, but if Dallas gets multi-dimensional with the run and pass, then it gets ugly.
It's a Jason Garrett revenge spot.
No.
Maybe the Giants will do the one thing that no other teams do, and that's cover Dalton Schultz.
Maybe.
Guy is unstoppable.
I don't know if he's stoppable or not, but he's wide open on every play somehow.
Well, when you have the receivers that they have and the running back threat that they have, you can't cover everybody.
Yeah, when the guy's scoring like 2 touchdowns a game, you might want to be like, man, we should take a look at that guy. I think he might catch the ball. Maybe they just think he can't. Maybe they think he's you. He just can't catch.
I can catch.
Can you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. You think so. So now we're backing off a little bit. I can hear Paul yawning up there, so we'll try to wrap this up for him. 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. I guess we're getting Trey Lance. I mean, we have Jimmy G on the board because all of a sudden, like, he's back in play to start this week because the calf wasn't as bad as he said it was. I'm not buying it. I think it's going to be Trey Lance against Kyler. And in that case, I'm going to take the Cardinals and Kyler Murray to go 4-1 against the spread and cover this 5.5. I don't think this is big enough if Trey Lance is starting. And that's no dig at Trey Lance. I think he's going to be fine. He doesn't look fine yet, though, Geoff.
If it's Trey Lance, I love San Francisco because it checks my box of good team, first game, backup quarterback. Again, it's like the tit for tat that I kind of spoke about earlier. Cardinals beat the Rams. Seahawks beat the 49ers, but now I have the Rams beating the Seahawks, and it doesn't shock me one bit if the last undefeated team goes down here. But I don't got to call it outright. I can take points, so I'm taking 49ers with them.
I think that the
Geoff,
issue,
my language.
You're taking the Niners too. I think the issue is here that the system that they want to run with Lance to minimize, like, obviously he's going to run and he's going to be effective. He throws a nice deep ball, and Debo can just kind of do whatever he wants. But there's still, I mean, Trent Williams might not play in this game. They still might be down running backs. Obviously, they've lost their starting quarterback. I think in order for the Niners to succeed with Trey Lance initially, like, you know, for the first few weeks, because, you know, all anyone can talk about when you watch these games, man, he's a hell of a football player. He's very raw, and you kind of see that with some of his throws. Like, he hasn't learned just to touch the X button yet, Geoff, and just, you know, get it to his receiver. He wants to Brett Favre it to them from 8 feet away, and, like, it's just going to lead to tips, bad interceptions. Like, he doesn't have that yet. Maybe his ability can overcome all of that. The issue in this game that I see is they need to play a game where they can run the ball a ton, play some solid defense, and keep this like 20-17. And I just don't think you can limit the Cardinals defense that way. I think they're just going to score too many points.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the Niners are going to be able to pen Murray in pretty effectively, force him to have to stand in the pocket and throw. We'll see if he can do that. We'll see how he handles it. If I believe, like Geoff, that the NFC West is an Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. And this is another example of it where the Niners should, I like Geoff, I kind of like thinking Niners money line, but I certainly like Niners points here. I think the 49ers front 7 make the difference in the game. And I think it's not that high scoring of a game either, but I like San Francisco.
So I assume you're teasing them up then?
No, because like, I just don't want to get involved with Arizona yet because maybe my read on them is completely dead wrong. And so I'm going to give enough respect to say maybe they can't find a way to pin in.
Yeah, no, there's the point that Pat made. Like, if they can't get to Murray, Arizona is now one of these teams you kind of would feel uncomfortable taking the points with on the teaser.
Yes.
Because that, like, if they play if the game goes their way, it's going to be a steamroll.
If I completely misread the game, my teaser's dead. So I'm just going to leave it out there.
Well, I hope I've read this game correctly, because I might be going in that spot a little bit later on once we wrap this up. But I assume this one is going to be on the teaser, Tim. Well, maybe it's not, because you don't want to go through zero. But Buffalo at Kansas City.
Oh, no.
You've said for 2 weeks that the Chiefs are your pick, that they're going to destroy the Bills. I happen to now it's -3 for the Chiefs.
I'm seeing 2.5 on DK Sportsbook as we speak.
So it's changing. The moment we started the show, an hour and 54 minutes ago, it was 2.5. It's now at 3, or now it was at 3. Now it's at 2.5. I just don't see where the Bills' money is coming from in this game. Maybe I have a misread on how the public feels about this, but every single person I've heard talk about this game so far, Tim, has had your stance. The Chiefs get back on track. They dominate. I disagree. I think that the Bills win. I will take the Bills plus 2.5.
This is Chiefs Ravens from last season.
Ooh.
This is this game gets the Chiefs' attention. They're not even getting the full 3 at home. It is Sunday Night Football. The entire world is touting the Buffalo Bills for shutting out the vaunted offenses of Houston and Miami.
No one is.
No one is, but continue.
No,
they are. They're
case.
like DVOA says this Buffalo team is the best.
That's a
team in
metric.
football, and that they've had one of the best performances ever. And people are ecstatic about the Bills. Oh, they're back. They're dominant. They're great. The Bills look fantastic. And the Chiefs are, the Chiefs are 2-2. And, we're sort of tired of the Chiefs a bit because they've been good for a couple of years. Kansas City, this is that Chiefs-Ravens game from last year. This is the Chiefs showing that they're the alpha dog when they want to be. And Buffalo, just like last year, lost 31-9 or something in the championship game.
Then that was not the score, but continue.
Well, what was the final score? Maybe they scored a touchdown late.
I think it was 38-26.
Okay, fair enough. I will give you that if that's correct.
So nowhere near what you said, right? I don't know if that actually was the.
No, but I think Tim has made some valid points that it's like
it would be a valid point if he didn't say that everyone's just talking about the Bills and how good they are.
Oh yeah, no. But
have you seen anyone take the Bills yet?
I just mean, okay, hold on a second though, because both of you, he's being crazy and thinking people are overrating that Houston performance, but Pat, I'm actually seeing now it's super early, but more money is in on Buffalo this week is what I am seeing. People are excited to bet Buffalo. They're just steamrolling teams.
Who bets games early in the week?
I don't know. I'm just saying, you're saying no one's betting them. I'm seeing more people are betting them.
I'm saying no one is talking about it. You know who's betting them? Guys with tons of money who bet games early.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying some people are. I, like you guys, like Kansas City. I do agree with Tim that I think there's a parallel between that week 3 game last year in primetime versus Baltimore. I lost my shirt on that game. I don't want to do it again. If it does happen for the Bills, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm certain the Bills and Daboll are frothing at the mouth to go for 4th and 2s that maybe 8 months ago they weren't going to go for in this game. Maybe that can make a difference. But I'm pretty excited about the Chiefs in this scenario. But they saw what the Chargers did. The Eagles didn't punt. They couldn't score touchdowns. But I don't think their punter went on the field. So people are like, the Bills will score 7 and they'll put the Chiefs in bad spots. But I think it's a hat trick for us. Give me the Chiefs.
All right. So Chiefs for the 2 of you, Buffalo for me in the coin. I think this is going to kick. This might. No, I'm definitely taking Buffalo. Where you thought the coin was going to side with you?
No, I didn't know. I thought you were on the Chiefs. I must have missed.
No, I really like the Bills here. When people get to the end of Sunday, they're going to think like Tim and be like, wow, the Chiefs blew them out in the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs really need it. The other time that they played, they beat them too. And John,
you're right.
John, and that's not saying that the Chiefs aren't going to win and aren't going to cover. However, I just know that by the time that we get to Sunday and guy who lost all his money all day needs to get it back on the Sunday night game, he is betting on the fucking Chiefs.
Listen, I love what the Bills are doing. My McDermott Coach of the Year props is they want to just bend over everybody. I'm enjoying it. I'm very pro Buffalo. I'm still one of these generic football fans that I guess will blindly trust the Chiefs, and especially in a game that I think they're going to care about. It's a very amateur angle, but I got no problem seeing Bill's Twitter and the Mafia just having a party on Sunday night. I'm not going to be in a bad mood about that.
Are they on the teaser, Tim?
No, because I'm not teasing through 0.
But you did that, I think you did that last week.
But barely through 0. This would be a big tease through 0. So I'm just not going to do it because I've got the last game to tease.
All right. Indianapolis and Baltimore is the Monday night game. Not too thrilled about this game. It's Ravens by 7. 46 is the over-under. 7 seems generous, I think, for the Colts to be 7-point underdogs. The Ravens seem a lot better, but the Ravens are weird at the same time, too. Like, they're starting with one running back, and then he's a healthy scratch the next week, and they're using Le'Veon Bell all of a sudden, although Rashad Bateman might be back for this game to make his season debut. Miles Boykin might be back. They're getting healthier again on the offensive side of the ball, and they beat Denver last week, and they got into a good situation when their starting quarterback had to leave the game and Drew Lock had to come in, and that was the end of everything. When you saw the win probability charts, the moment that happened, Denver's just went bloop, and they could never get back on the same page. But Baltimore's been running at a pretty good pace here. Your boy John Harbaugh, Tim, getting some tough words from Vic Fangio about running too much at the end of the game.
Stop him.
Yeah, I agree. Be better.
No, and also that, like, you have to respect what the Ravens do. That's their identity. Like, they build themselves off that. And that's a coaching tactic that works for Harbaugh. And he takes that 100 yards, and that works for them Tuesday through Saturday. And building an edge and building their identity.
Maybe they'll play again in the postseason, and maybe the Broncos will derive extra motivation for it. And
I thought that was embarrassing. People will say, like, if they did that to the Chargers, I'd be freaking out. Maybe for 8 seconds, but once you kind of see what that's the Ravens, and that's how they totally keep.
It wasn't there to disrespect the Broncos. It was so that they could keep a record going of rushing yards.
Yeah, but that record is central to their identity, and it's something that he uses.
How about you score more than 7 points? I know
it's something he uses to motivate his team in the week to maintain that identity through game day.
Yeah, exactly.
And I got no beef with that. And he's got a right to say you're trying to score 16-point touchdowns with 8 seconds left. So screw you too, pal.
Yeah, exactly. The Broncos were just trying to take the attention off of their pitiful performance on Sunday, and it didn't work. I love Baltimore here. The Colts played fine against the Dolphins, but the Colts just have too many problems. The Ravens are a top-tier AFC team, and the Colts aren't. 7's the right number. I will tease the Ravens down, and I like the Ravens a lot.
I'm going to take
the Colts.
I'm going to say I'm going to blindly take Indy here. The number makes no sense to me, and just Indy's a stupid team that I can't get right. So I actually think they have no chance in this game. So give me Indy.
Yeah, weird primetime game. I think it can end up being closer. I don't love it. Maybe I sleep through it because I'll be off a bender in Vegas the days previous, so I might not even be conscious for this game, but I'll take a touchdown.
Just do what I do with the primetime games that you don't care about. That watch them in the morning in the 8-minute replay where you can watch every play of the game and cut out all of the other stuff. You don't care about it. What's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, look, there'll be baseball playoffs on. I'll be watching that more than I'll be watching this.
Forgot you're 90 baseball.
Oh, listen, and I'll let people know we're getting a San Francisco Giants Tampa Bay World Series.
There you go.
Fade them.
There's some predictions for you. All right. Superlocks for week 5. It's a tough week to find one game I really like. I have it narrowed down to Atlanta, Carolina, Denver, and the
My list is those first 2 games.
And the Cardinals. You know what? I'm going to take the Cardinals minus 5.5. I really like the Cardinals this week.
I'm going to take Atlanta.
You both talked me into the Patriots. It's not enough points.
That might be the most sensible option.
Yeah,
I'll take the Patriots.
Atlanta or Carolina? Atlanta.
Fine, Geoff. Enjoy your loss.
Listen, I'm looking forward to your reevaluation of the situation next week.
We'll see.
You don't think Atlanta fan is sitting there like, oh man, we got to play the Jets and get ourselves right?
Atlanta fans are exclusively worried about the Braves right now. They don't care about the Falcons.
Fair.
Survivor picks. Tim, you don't get a say in this. So, Geoff, it's you and I. Where do you think you're going to go here? I'm thinking about Tampa.
I hadn't even thought about it.
Now you can think about
New
it.
England.
You're taking New England?
Yeah.
Have you used? No, you have not used New England. I will use Tampa Bay in this spot at home against the Miami Dolphins. So, Tim, recap your free money for us, please.
Sure. It is a 4-team, 6-point teaser. You take the Jets, the Patriots, the Cowboys, and the Ravens.
There you
Plus
go.
260.
Plus 260. You're 1-4 on the season, 10-88 lifetime on your free money plays. They're not always teasers. Sometimes they're like money lines. Yeah, sometimes they're heavy favorite money line parlays that don't win.
Yeah, sometimes they are, but the last couple of weeks has been teasers. I think that's where the money's been.
Well, you have one win. When you say couple weeks, what are you talking about?
I wasn't going to mention that because I wouldn't want to be accused of trying to dine out on my week to win. So I've consciously not brought that up.
You just brought it up.
No, you brought it up.
No,
I just commented.
You brought it up. Well, you tried to say that you had won multiple weeks by playing teasers. Or maybe I misheard you when that was the implication that you were
just said I
making.
thought the free money was in the teasers.
But you got them wrong. And then so it's making you seem like you're winning these, but you are not. Anyway, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. I want to thank Geoff for being here. I want to thank Paul for the Bills deserve to win. And a Make-A-Wish Foundation for Paul here, who's just dying of like burping and puking and farting and pulling through on this show so we can get it done. So hopefully that can work out. Got to thank the coin. I don't want to thank old Timmy Tuggs here, but it's Tim Andergust.
Tim Andergust.
That is not my name. At Tim Anderson87 on Twitter, I bring the fun.
You have to understand that if you destroy my office based on your weird dancing and lack of coordination, you are paying for it. That's coming out of the McDonald's budget, pal.
Okay, understood. But I was careful enough to not fall.
How rich must a guy be to have $1,000 in Monopoly McDonald's money in his slush fund, like in his ledger?
That's just like there to just in case. I'm not actually planning to spend that much. Like I said, it's probably half that in reality.
Some people have, 2 mortgage payments put away in case of a rainy day should anything happen. Tim's got McDonald's money to play Monopoly.
It's so weird.
Tim, too rich. Must be nice. Rate and review the pod. Sub to the newsletter. Smash the like on the way out. And I will see you next time.
Mayo Experience! Experience!